Hello friends, so I am Atal and my friend asked me today just record a video about your journey, about you, about who you are. So I'm here today near Pacifica and standing in front of my van, which is like my new home, and just thinking about life like the past 10 years of my life. And it just looks like I was always chasing freedom in life. So the way my journey started is as a high school student. Before that, actually, I was born in Rampur, Uttar Pradesh, so I'm from UP. And then my parents moved to Delhi, so I ended up being close to my grandparents and I lived in Meerut for a bit. And then when I was in high school, 11th, 12th, and my parents were like, hey, you should prepare for IIT. So I ended up preparing for IIT. I didn't make it through in the first attempt, but somehow I got through in the second attempt. So I got into IIT in the second attempt. And then I wanted to go to IIT Kharagpur. I don't know what happened, but somehow I chose IIT Kharagpur or IIT Kharagpur chose me. But I ended up being the last ranker, one of the last rankers at IIT Kharagpur. So that was like my first way of getting towards freedom, because I was from Delhi and I wanted to be far away as much as I can. So I went to Kharagpur, which is like on the east side of India. Then as I entered, I was like, I want to be anything I want to be. So that started like resonating in me, like the mission. I want to do something new. I want to do something big. So in my 4 years, I started becoming like more and more involved in the politics on campus. And I became the student college president with the highest margin in the history at that point. So that was very interesting to me, that something if you want to manifest, you can achieve it. Like it was something I wanted and I got it. So, it was very interesting to me that manifestation works in the world. Somehow I hit a jackpot during my pre-final year as I was the president. There was this alumni from IIT Kharagpur, his name is Vinod Gupta. He has donated a lot of money to IIT Kharagpur, more than like $50 to $100 million. He came on a visit and I was from the same hostel as him, and I just had a handshake with him. And this handshake, I didn't realize how deep that handshake is, that after that visit, 2 days later, he sent me an email that, nice to meet you. I was kind of shocked, but he's just this kind of a generous guy. He has helped a lot of people come to the US and be successful. He's like a self-made person. What was interesting to me, what happened after that meetup is like, I got close to him and he started like meeting me and guiding me in life. And I got to see a lot of the world through his lens. He's very rich, so I got to like travel with him in his private jets. I got to live in Hawaii at his house. And as I was like experiencing these things, I still remember one moment. I was sitting with him in his balcony in Hawaii at 5 a.m. and I'm looking at the Pacific, just the same Pacific from Hawaii. And I say to Vin, I don't deserve any of this. And I was crying, because I was like, I don't deserve this life. And he said, just experience it, and this just helps you learn what you want or what you don't want in life. I was very entrepreneurial from the very start. So as soon as I even came here, I was very passionate about doing something of my own. So I ended up winning some of the competitions at UC Santa Barbara, raised money for my startup and continued working on it until it failed. And when it failed, I was like, okay, maybe I'm not perfect yet, I gotta work on myself more. And I took a job, and luckily I found a job. At that time it was easy, the immigration and all. And then I worked in the industry for a few years, and as I was working in the industry, I was realizing that somehow I am leaving my freedom behind, the freedom that I cared about, the freedom that I came here with. And somehow I was looking for a way out of my work to be able to live my passion, able to do things that I want to do. And I was never a runner, so I started running a little bit, and it ended up being a half marathon once and then a full marathon, and then ended up like running from my house and finishing off just full marathons like that. Like I would just get out of the house and I would go 26 miles and I would never realize how much distance it is, because I was just on runner's high. I was enjoying my time. And all this passion of running and enjoying running, but I didn't know how to swim at all at that time. And somehow I went on a camping trip with my friends to Lake Tahoe, and I was in a kayak and I didn't know how to swim, and my kayak flipped there. And when my kayak flipped, I was literally fighting to survive there. Like, how can I survive in this water? And on that day, it was a pretty rough day of my life when I just was able to escape. I was holding my kayak like this and I was like trying to shout for help, and somehow my friends were like, no, you can swim back. It was not that far, and I was swimming. I still remember I was afraid to get down to the water, but somehow I got there and I was able to escape from that part. But that day I realized I gotta learn how to swim in the water. And somehow that became a new passion, that new purpose in life at that time. I ended up learning how to swim by myself, and one day I ended up swimming from Alcatraz Island to San Francisco. Alcatraz Island is like more of a prison, and the reason there is a prison because no one could escape from there because the water is so hard to navigate there and there are sharks in the water. So there is a race that people call it Alcatraz race. So I ended up swimming from Alcatraz to San Francisco. After that, I was like, now I can run Ironman races because now I know swimming, I enjoy biking, I enjoy running. And I ended up running a half marathon and half Ironman at that time. And then I was like, no, I don't want to seek validation from the world. I'm not going to do anything about to prove to anyone, and I'm going to be chilling out at my home and just going to enjoy biking and running and all. But somehow, when I got 60 days and I lost my job in America, I was like, maybe before I leave back to India, I better just run this Ironman race, the full Ironman race. So I ended up doing that full Ironman race without any training, because I was always training, because I always looked at life and health as a way of living, like being healthy is a way of living. So this is all my story over the last few years. But then I ended up finding a job too at that time, and I worked on that job and I realized that I'm still seeking freedom. And now I'm building a startup actually which is about freedom and helping people solve for immigration. But I think what I have realized my journey is more about just learning from the world and trying to figure out what freedom is about. And today I'm standing here with my van, the place where I live, and I can take this van to Mexico, to Canada, to US, wherever I want to take it. It offers me some kind of freedom that I was seeking. I'm still learning these days, I'm always learning and growing. But to me, freedom is very interesting. Freedom turns a man, As a free man, you can think a lot. You can look at the abundance of the world. So when I sit by the ocean, I just look at the ocean and I just look at the beauty of the ocean and how big it is, how powerful it is, how abundant it is, and that anything is possible in this world. If you put your focus on anything, you can achieve anything in this world. Manifestation works. Talking about this story, I can say I'm not craving for that wealth in my life. Like, I don't crave a life of I want to travel in private jets, like I'm living in a van. And I don't crave a life to be living in Hawaii, though I still want my freedom, but I don't crave to be living in Hawaii. So my life changed from experiencing kind of like looking at India from a lens of being in Kharagpur, seeing all this poverty there, coming to America, seeing a lot of abundance in almost everything here. Then ended up being experiencing some of the highest things in life, like being in private jets and living in Hawaii. And then ending up living in a van right now by myself, leaving away all the materialistic things that I kind of conquered over these years. So I think what is interesting to me is this journey from going in private jets to living in Hawaii to living in a van and experiencing the same level of happiness and satisfaction, and thinking about the world like, yes, I'm thankful to all these experiences, but I'm writing my story, the story that I am proud of, the story that is new, the story that is unique. And all these experiences have kind of played a big role in my story, the story of Atal. So thank you so much for being interested in this story. I know it is not an easy story. I mean, it's a fun story for sure, but just being able to observe the world from all these different lenses, I'm super grateful to that. I'm super thankful, and I'm here to share my lessons and help other people learn on how to live a high quality life. And I'm still a learner. So with you all, I'm learning how to live a higher quality life. That's all I wanted to share today. Have a beautiful day in paradise. Much love. Take care.